Warning, this channel is meant for viewers 21 plus and was created for educational and documentary purposes only. BeginnerBUDZ does not condone illegal activity and certainly does not sell anything, so don't even ask. Seriously.
How's it growing, everyone? We got a special episode for you, and we are stupid stoked. It's brought to you by Rosin Evolution and Low Temp, and you probably guessed it by now. We're making bubble hash. Let's go! Alright guys, so like we said, we're excited about this one. For those that don't know or haven't heard, we've recently been fortunate enough to team up with Low Temp Plates, who sponsored us with a V2 press. And when they said they were going to hook us up, well, let's just say we weren't expecting what showed up. We'll get into all that in the second part of this series, but you better bet your butts that we're going to press what we make here today.
Now, when we talked to Low Temps, they were nothing but good to us. Levi and Matt have helped make the process smooth and even gave us ideas for future episodes, one of which was to make and press bubble hash, saying they'd even love to send us the bubble bags to do that, which they did. There was just one problem. You see, Low Temps is geared toward the industrial processing portion of the industry, meaning their clients typically work with huge amount of product, and we mean a lot. They sent the bags all right. 20-gallon Rosin Evolution big boys. Holy crap. Like, you could fit a person in here. Literally. So, as super grateful as we were, we certainly didn't want to go back to Low Temps to ask if they had something smaller, but we did have another idea. Seeing how Low Temps use Rosin Evolution, we went to them to explain our predicament, to which they were more than happy to send us out some of their bubble hash bags in the 5-gallon size. David also said that he'd send us some extra goodies as well. And you guys, they even sent their bomb-ass press timer. Once again, you'll see in our next video in this series, but that was just too cool.
Rosin Evolution sent their 8-bag, 5-gallon wash bag kit, along with a neoprene insulator for the 5-gallon bucket we're set to make our hash in. Just like Dave said, there were loads of extras, including that press timer we talked about, and some magnets to decorate or help hold up the parchment to the press. Along with that, he sent several different size micron press bags and premium parchment paper cut to different sizes, but those will be for a different day. Today, we're making bubble hash, so all we'll need is our wash bags and the neoprene sleeve. The only other things you're going to need are a 5-gallon bucket, preferably clean and going to be used for just this purpose, a large spoon for stirring, some ice, we grabbed 2 bags, and water. Oh, and a cardboard box, but we'll get to that later. So, let's go over what we're trying to do, and then we'll talk a little bit about the equipment and how to do it.
When you smoke, it's the THC contained within the trichomes that gets you baked. The oil-based trichomes melt, get vaporized by the heat, and inhaled by you. So, to get a more concentrated version of this, we can make bubble hash, which basically removes the trichomes from the plant material, but without the use of harsh and potentially dangerous chemicals. In fact, bubble hash is known as a solventless concentrate, but let's get back to it. What we're going to do here is use the ice to bring the temperature of the plant material down. This also brings the temps of those THC-containing trichomes we're after here down as well. And what happens to things when they get cold? They get brittle. The trichomes actually break off from the plant material in these colder temps, which is what we're aiming to do. Between the cold water and ice in the bucket and agitation of the water, stirring device, and wash bags, the trichomes break off and fall into the bags below. You then strain the plant material out, leaving you with a higher and higher grade concentration with each bag you pull out.
Alright, let's get to it. Rosin Evolution sent us their 8-bag kit containing wash bags with micron sizes 220, 190, 160, 120, 90, 73, 45, and 25. Whew. Okay. Along with that, the kit comes with a piece of 15 micron count pressing screen to put your bubble hash on when it's time to extract. First, we put the insulative neoprene sleeve on our bucket. This will help keep your bucket cooler and the temps of the water down for longer. Remember here, the cold is what does most of the action here. The colder the better. As you guys know, we had to shut down the grow room a while back and flour has been limited to say the least. Seeing how we don't have any of our own, we had to get some from elsewhere, but this time we are glad we did. I mean, check this out. We got our hands on some Mac 1 grown by Schwagel Farms, and this stuff looks incredible.
Okay, bags on, putting the smallest micron count inside first. This way you get the biggest last, which is where you're going to place your bud. We threw some ice on our bud to get things cooling down as much as possible at first, and then we filled our bucket with water as cold as it would come out of the tap, but not all the way. You see, what we're looking for is enough water for a current to form when you begin mixing, but not much more than that. It should cover the bud at least, but you'll see what we mean in a minute. The idea here is to stir like a washing machine. Rather than stir like we typically do to mix, you don't want to be all that rough with the bud. The rougher you are, the more plant material goes in. The lower your percentages and yada yada yada. You get the picture. Instead, you want to use your stirring device, preferably a large spoon or paddle of some kind, to create a current in the water, spinning everything inside, just like your washing machine. The hope is that between bumping into the bag, your spoon, the other bud, and ice in the water, the trichomes will break and fall off.
Here comes the hard part though. So get out your big boy and girl muscles because you're going to stir for about 15 minutes. Of course, you could be smart and cut that time in half by recruiting someone to help like we did, but we all got to do what we got to do. Stir 10 seconds in one direction and then reverse it and go 10 seconds in the other way. Set a timer and keep doing this for 15 minutes straight. We know it's a little work, but it'll be worth it. After that 15 minutes is up, it's finally time to get what we came for, the bubble hash in our bucket. Getting ready for the next step, we place our press screen on that cardboard box we said we'd be needing. This is where we're going to put the hash that we scoop out of these bags. We did this entire process in our sink, as this gave us access to water with a spray nozzle, which really came in handy for this next step.
With your bucket, bud, flour, ice, and hash in one side of the sink, get yourself a large size mixing bowl and put it in the other side of the sink and grab a hold of your first wash bag. We're going to go one at a time here, nice and slow. Make sure we get everything considering all the work that just took place. Raise just the top bag above your bucket and gently spray the outside of the bag so that the flow of the water flows into the bucket below. You want to catch and keep all the trichomes that may have been stuck to the outside of the bag as it was pulled out of the water. Once this is done, we placed our first bag off to the side. This is all plant material and ice that we'll likely be running through again just to make sure we got everything off this bud, but we don't need it for the rest of this process, so it got put to the side. The first bag keeps the largest portion of the plant material from making its way into the bubble hash in the end. The second bag, and everyone up until the last one even, the process changes a bit. We're going to spray off the outside of the bag just like we did the first, but this time, we're going to place our bag inside that large bowl in the other side of the sink.
With the bag held above the bowl, take your sprayer and spray the inside of the bag from top to bottom. The goal here is to wash all the trichomes that are sticking to the sides down to the bottom. Once you're far enough down, you can begin to roll the top of the bag outwards to give you better access to the bottom of the bag. If you did it right, you should see some material at the bottom of the bag, usually tan or brown in color. This is our bubble hash, and made out of straight trichomes. Some heads, some stems, some both. As you work your way down, the material in our second bag, the 190 micron, was a lighter color in nature, and seeing how it dried fluffier and white, we suspect this is made up of a lot of trichome stems. A little tip we've heard from a few people here. Use the bowl to condense the location of your hash to one spot on the bag. Pull it taut over the rim of the bowl and scoop the contents out with a cold spoon.
Yes, we said cold. It's the key word there, as the spoon being cold keeps the sticky oil from warming and sticking to the spoon. We had thrown a few in the freezer beforehand. Work your way through the bags. And another thing, you don't have to use all the bags here. Most people use a select few micron sizes they prefer and run that, which is probably what we'll end up doing. For now, Rosin Evolution sent us these, so we wanted to see it all in use. So that's what we did. One by one, we worked our way through the bags. 160 was next. Then 120, 90, and 73, before eventually 45, and finally 25. The hash got darker as we got deeper in the bags. We assumed that these contained higher and higher percentages of just the trichome heads. We didn't get all that much in the 25, but that would be the highest quality hash out of the entire batch. Drying for us was pretty simple. We kept it in the cool, dark place with humidity around 50 or 60%, covered it, and let evaporation do its thing. As we all know, water and oil do not bond, so as all water evaporates into the air over time, all we're left with is the THC that used to be in our bud. A day and things had dried out significantly.
I will say here that I moved the pressing screen to a drier spot of the cardboard box at some point throughout the night, as we wanted to help it dry. Some of the hash that came out of the smaller size micron bags took another day or two to dry, but ultimately, it looks like things came out pretty good. And it's all thanks to Rosin Evolution and Low Temps for putting us onto them. We're gonna run this flower through another cycle here, but for today, this is the end of our video. We will be taking the bubble hash made in this video and pressing it using our new 4x7 V2 press by Low Temp Industries. We're so excited to see it in action, and we know you are too. If you haven't already, we are currently hosting a King Palm giveaway with the instructions on how to enter in our last video on drying here on YouTube. So if you haven't done that already, make sure you go watch that video and enter. So you guys know we'll be right here this weekend with another update on our current grow, and until then, keep learning, keep growing.
Catch you later, guys.